Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story of how I started and wanted to design my own kettlebells and how that came to be. And that actually transformed into creating kettlebells in between the sizes that were currently available, as well as surpassing the heaviest kettlebell on the market and pushing it to 100 kilograms. I did that back in 2020. And in 2023, we pushed the envelope again and went to 164 kilograms, 360 pounds. Now, going back to the original orders of kettlebells, so I was trying to find the manufacturer that I wanted to use for the kettlebells, and I eventually found an amazing supplier, and they had a really nice kettlebells, and they're kettlebells from 12 kilograms, actually from 4 kilograms to 32 kilograms, were available with a nice size window and this amazing E-coating. Okay, they rivaled RKC, Dragon Door, and Kettlebells USA. They were right up there, and I'm a stickler for quality and for craftsmanship, and I was really impressed with the samples I was sent, and I wanted to continue on with this brand. Now, what I want to say is about the kettlebells in the earlier sequence here. I had an order of kettlebells that I came in from a previous manufacturer. They had large windows, and I remember being able to, I think I had a 56 kilogram, and I was doing that fairly easily. Now, when the new shipment of kettlebells in, I sold that old set, and the new kettlebells were a smaller window. I couldn't do the 56, and I was so frustrated. It felt like I was going a step back, but it made me think, why is that the case? And it was the window design. The window design on the 56 was a lot smaller. So the manufacturer that I was going with was actually, it was the high quality, amazing kettlebells that we're seeing today. But the kettlebells on that lineup, even right now, even with this size window right here, that's a fairly small window. I believe that's 60 millimeters. Okay, we're going around 70 to 73 millimeters on the larger kettlebells. And that's a big difference when you're thinking about it and thinking about leverage and how that applies on your forearm. Okay, and it changes the way it's going to sit on your hand. Now, when you have a larger window, it's also better for two-handed swings. Saying this, I like all kettlebells. Well, except for cheap, nasty ones. But I really like these kettlebells. These are amazing quality kettlebells. I'm not putting these down. I'm not putting down the design. Okay, this is just a shorter window. So you can use that. You can almost make it, you can have two of the same weights as the kettlebell. One has a small window, one has a large window. The smaller window is going to be harder, okay, due to the leverage on the forearm, okay? So it's a little bit easier, in my opinion, when you have a larger window, because it sits nicer. Remember, these kettlebells they came from weights, from counterweights, from weighing crops and that, right? They weren't designed for lifting. So when I designed the kettlebells, I wanted to get up to a 72 kilogram kettlebell. Now, I'm not quite there yet, but the other day I managed to do a 68 with a small window, which is awesome. But I just wanted to chat with you about the window design of the kettlebells. So when does this really matter? It really matters when it gets really challenging for you. For strong men, that's going to be, for my opinion, that's going to be around 48 kilogram kettlebell. Okay, when you're at a 48 kilogram kettlebell, things change, in my opinion. Okay, you're allowed to go a little bit past neutral with the wrist. You want to utilize the power point of the palm. Okay, that shelf where the bones in the forearm are going to hold weight. Now, your wrist position has to do a lot with how you're going to tolerate the bell. So, the more you can dial in your wrist and get a lockout position and it feeling dialed in, the better. And if you have different window sizes, you're going to have to play around with that. And that's kind of nice when you have a consistent window. Right now in front of me, I have varying windows. And just with the kettlebell selection that I have right now, I don't currently have the 48 or the 52 or the 56 in the large window. Now, I would really like that, but I don't have that right now. Okay, I will soon, but what's so amazing about utilizing this information is when you get strong with it, it really makes a difference, okay? So that's why I'm so proud of the P-Spec kettlebells. The P-Spec kettlebells are designed with a large window. Now, I designed those in 2023. The original design I designed back in 2020 for the original P-Spec. They were called the tweener bells at the time. I designed those with a guy named Zach and Carl. They helped me with the window design. They were very strong individuals, and they've been using kettlebells and heavy kettlebells for quite some time, and they're very good at it. So we had a conversation about what would be the optimal specs for these large kettlebell windows. And those are the specs that we used. So I designed a 60 kilogram, 64, 72, 76, 84, 88, 96, and 100 kilograms. The 100 kilograms was the largest kettlebell on the market at the time. Okay, now we've pushed the envelope here and we've gone to 164 kilograms. But and those are in increments of 8 kilograms from 100 kilograms all the way to 164. Okay, but the goal here is to have the largest kettlebell lineup, and eventually we're going to have the entire P-Spec lineup at some point in time. That's the goal. Okay, but right now the P-Spec lineup goes from 12 kilograms up to 32 kilograms. So 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30, and 32. And then it skips up to 60 kilograms, 64, 72, 76, 84, 88, 96, and 100. And then in increments of 8 kilograms up to 164 kilograms. Now those are the P-Spec kettlebells that I designed personally. Okay, now again, it makes a big difference when you're using these large kettlebells. It's going to sit a lot farther down, and it's going to allow you a lot more room to maneuver the kettlebell and position it so you can get that proper lockout position. Okay, when you're talking about using the kettlebell here, normally we want to have that neutral or slightly flexed position. Now, what I'm saying is kind of that goes out the window, in my opinion, when you get really heavy, okay, because then you're allowed to utilize the power point of the palm and the shelf of the two bones, okay, the radius and ulna in the forearm, okay, and this is ulnar deviation, this is radial deviation. So if you have the kettlebell up overhead and you're like that and it's going into radial deviation, that's going to couple with flexion of the elbow and bending, okay, so if you can get your ulnar deviation, or the opposite, to help with the elbow extension and lockout, an ulnar deviation setup within your wrist, it's going to be very individual. Okay, that's going to help you achieve getting to the heavier weight. Now, when you can manipulate and understand that you can change your wrist position, change the position of your wrist in flexion and extension and radial and ulnar deviation to help to assist to feel better on the hand and the forearm and to lock the elbow out. Okay, that goes a long way with your presses, with your lockout position, with your snatch, okay, with a lot of grinds. Okay, all of this stuff, it's going to help you to increase and get to the next level. And you can apply this at any weight. I'm talking about very large kettlebells, but you can apply the same things that I was just talking about with the position of the wrist and the elbow and how to lock it out on lighter weights. It's all relative to how strong you are, right? So if you can't press a 28 kilogram kettlebell or a 24 kilogram, that's heavy for you, right? So that's what you're working with. Okay, and that's totally fine. Okay, and now if you're interested in purchasing any of these kettlebells or the P-Spec kettlebells, you can check out Great Lakes Girya Pro. They have an amazing special on right now. If you go there, 50% off. Okay, we're trying to show people these kettlebells. Okay, we have a lot in stock from 12 kilograms all the way to 32. Go check them out. They're the best kettlebells. I designed them personally. They are absolutely amazing. I am biased, but I'm also kettlebell nerd, and these kettlebells are the best. Okay, speaking of these kettlebells and why they are the best, again, when I was searching for a company to source and manufacture these kettlebells, I was very particular in the samples that I was getting, and I didn't settle for anything less than the best. These bells coating and the manufacturing quality is equal to that of Dragon Door, Kettlebells USA. Okay, these are the top brands that are of this. These bells are of that quality. Okay, so these bells are right at the top end of the kettlebell nerds spectrum of quality of kettlebells here. Okay, right back here, we do have examples of them. You can see the very large windows in these. Okay, these are going all the way from 12 to 32. Okay, and it's a very large window. And what's neat about them is that incrementally, the kettlebell handle goes up in increments and it scales with the size of the kettlebell, as does the window. So that's pretty interesting, as well as the horns of the kettlebell. So the horns are here, right here. As it inserts into the bell, the base actually gets a little bit larger on the P-Spec kettlebells. And that is a neat thing that adds to the strength and also into the balance of the kettlebell, because a little bit more of the weight of the kettlebell is actually involved in the handle, which is interesting. It just makes these kettlebells just a little bit different and unique compared to other hardstyle kettlebells on the market. The hardstyle kettlebells from RKC and Kettlebells USA, they don't have that design on their kettlebell handle on the horns. That's a unique thing to Great Lakes Girya Pro. And those kettlebell handle designs are top notch. Get the seal of approval from me. Again, I designed them, and they are just a treat to use. And if you value high quality tools and ergonomics and high quality and good feeling tools, the P-Spec kettlebell, you got to check it out. Anyways, if you have any questions about these kettlebells, shoot them in the comments, okay, and like and subscribe. More videos to come.